In this video, I'm going to read a guy's experience in 5 cities in the Philippines. I've been to 4 of those myself, so I'll share my personal experience. Plus, we'll read some comments. I think this is a very informative video if you have any interest in the Philippines. His name is Exploring Worker that says, I'm a male digital nomad in his 30s. Earlier this year, I've spent 5 weeks total in the Philippines, 1 week in each Manila, Siargao, Cebu, Davao, and Iloilo City. This was my first time in the Philippines. The intention of the trip was to figure out where I'd like to spend more time in the future, if at all. Before coming to the Philippines, I spent a lot of time working remotely in Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia. So that's where my comparison bias might come from. I also worked 2 or 3 days per week. During this time, I wrote the review of the Philippines in general, along with the review of each place I visited during the limited time I had in each. First impressions of the Philippines. It's definitely a developing country, quite a bit more than I expected. I wasn't fully prepared for the level of homelessness or the begging kids who came up to me fairly frequently, depending on where you are. Although typically it happened everywhere I visited except for Siargao and Iloilo City. It's also a lot more westernized than I expected. I didn't expect every single road sign, billboard, poster, or other public communication to be exclusively in English. That's quite convenient, but also takes away a bit from the local vibe, similar to Malaysia. This westernization also shows in language. Locals often use their native language mixed with English. Unfortunately, that same westernization has brought with it a lot of fast food franchises. In short time I spent here, it felt like the food scene in the Philippines is mostly about familiar brands and prepackaged formulas. It was quite hard to find quality, standalone, mom-and-pop restaurants. And yes, the food is high in calories, low in vegetables, and relatively expensive compared to neighboring countries. If you want to live in the Philippines long term, you'll likely have to start cooking again, especially if you want to stay healthy. The security guards, wow! There are so many security guards in this country. Even mall will have security guards when you enter. The metro in Manila even had a military presence and what seemed like bomb sniffer dogs. You will even see them protect fast food establishments. To end on a positive note, the people are definitely awesome, some of the friendliest I've met. They'll make you feel special at times. On top of that, you can have deep conversations with them in English, even with people in lower level jobs. In general, the younger they are, the better they speak. That's a huge plus if you're coming from Thailand or Vietnam. So here are the places I've visited. Manila, a city of major contrast. Plenty of awesome skyscrapers. Most neighborhoods suffer from poor infrastructure, heavy traffic, and the resulting air pollution. Also, be prepared for potentially upsetting situations where there are a lot of homeless people. Of course, I've seen homelessness before, but it's different when you see families with babies and lots of street kids live in the street right in front of you. If you go off the beaten path in Manila, accept groups of begging kids to approach you, some look perfectly clean and seem to be doing it for fun. Others look really distressed and definitely in need of food. Expats are generally recommended to live in Makati or BGC. I visited both. I'm not sure. Maybe I didn't spend enough time in Makati, but it still felt like I wouldn't enjoy living there. The Rockwell area might be an exception. BGC, on the other hand, impressed me. I wouldn't mind living there, but it'll be a hassle to find 3 to 5 month lease, which will likely come with inflated prices. The food courts there were still disappointing to me. Same story. I'll have to start cooking again, which I will. It turns out there are about 5 Muay Thai gyms in the BGC area, which is a big plus for me. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to visit any of them, but given the amount of gyms, there must be good ones in there. Living in BGC likely means you won't want to leave the bubble much due to traffic and infrastructure issues, but I could live with that. Next up, Siargao. For the right type of person, this place must be heaven. Nice beaches, surfing, partying, and plenty of food and affordability, but I'm just not big on beaches or surfing. I enjoy my modern conveniences and prefer living in a nice condo. Given that this island was wiped out by a typhoon in 2021, it still needs time to rebuild. It unfortunately comes with higher prices if you want to rent a place that's extra nice and comfortable. Internet is also an issue. My place had Starlink, so it was decent, but still inconsistent during bad weather. Maybe it was unreliable because I wasn't managing the Starlink deployment myself, the host was, or it became unreliable because it's inherent to Starlink. I don't know. Relying on 5G hotspotting isn't really an option unless you live next to a reliable tower. I wasn't affected during the week I was there, but power cuts are a known issue. Just something to keep in mind. For these reasons and more, I don't see myself living there. A holiday visit once in a while would be more than enough. Cebu is next. Cebu City. Can someone tell me why this place is so hyped up? I really don't see it. What does Cebu City offer beyond condos and IT Park or Business Park? What's so special about IT Park beyond Cebu Mercado, which was extremely crowded when I went? Beyond that, it's mostly fast food franchises I'd avoid anyways. The rest of the city is congested and polluted. The downtown area feels like part of Manila, like stepping back into the 1980s when glancing around or over the building maintenance. There are also still many homeless people. Additionally, the city doesn't seem to have many large or pleasant parks or any smaller festivals being held within them, unless I miss the ones, of course. Yet, supposedly, many expats live here. If the YouTubers are to be believed, haha, maybe me, right? Honestly, I didn't see that many, but there must be plenty. What am I missing? My best guess is because Cebu Island itself offers a good number of tropical destinations within easy reach, which I didn't visit. On a positive note, the clubbing experience in the city was on another level. The crowd was fun and the club was professionally managed. I just don't think I would be able to sustain myself here long term. I would prefer to live in a city where there is longevity. I can't justify living here simply because dating would be good there due to the party scene. It feels the same anywhere in the Philippines to me anyways. Next up is Davao City, located in the island of Mindanao, which many embassies label as no-go or avoid due to past kidnappings and terrorist attacks, mostly in the western parts of the island. Davao is governed by the controversial Duterte family, known for their hardline stance on substances. That said, the strict policies seem to be made real difference in the city. The cleanliness stood out immediately. Cleanest city in the Philippines? Possibly. I definitely appreciated that. There are also several public parks, and coincidentally, where I was staying nearby, the city has multiple night markets where you can get affordable barbecue meats and a super cheap oil massage. 120 pesos for 30 minutes or double for an hour. Amazing. Being in the Philippines, Davao can still suffer from bad traffic and air pollution, but it felt like traffic kept flowing, even busier areas. The city is relatively developed and there are multiple nice condos available. I'd consider living in either Matina or Lanang near Ayala Mall areas. At first glance, Airbnb monthly rates were more affordable, although I prefer working with an agent to get a 3-month lease and avoid Airbnb fees. And lastly, Iloilo City. I was here during my final week. A couple of years ago, I saw some YouTuber raving about Iloilo, so I decided to include it on my itinerary. I'm not sure what to make of it. It feels a little too small for me to want to live here. It's just not as exciting as the larger cities in Metro Manila or Davao City. The nice area where you'd want to live feels quite compact. There are some attractive buildings and fancy condo developments around the mall. But like every city in the Philippines, not all parts of Iloilo are easily reachable. The old Iloilo proper area was just as congested as Manila or Cebu. The city has some nice areas, but you might get bored being there as a single person. It's more like a chill, laid-back family place. That's it, my short review of the Philippines. I'm planning to live in BGC once I come back. I feel it has most to offer for someone like me. Additionally, I will likely also try living in Davao City at some point. Let me know your thoughts, if any. Happy to hear from your perspectives living in the Philippines as a foreign expat. Honestly, that is one of the most accurate reviews. I've been to 4 out of the 5. The only place I didn't visit is Siargao, but I've been to all those other cities for at least a month, majority of my time being in Cebu City. One more thing to mention, Cebu City is talked about a lot, mainly because of what you said yourself. So many reachable islands, beautiful places, Bohol, Bantayan, Malapascua, Mualboal, right? So there's so many places you can go, and even just the Lapu-Lapu area, there's casinos, the international airport, IT Park and Ayala Business Park provide you a similar feeling to BGC, although smaller. So, but he was very honest saying exactly why for him, because he's in his 30s, single, working online. Some of these things really weren't for him, but makes 100% sense. I'm curious to see what other people have to say regarding his assessment. Someone says, nice write-up, pretty accurate I think, although I haven't spent much time in Manila. I've spent a good part of the past 12 years in the Visayas region. We lived in a condo above Cebu City for several years until the congestion and pollution got to us. Then we moved to Dumaguete, much better for us and her 2 boys who are now in senior high school. Somewhere along the way, we built a home in southern Cebu too, which has amazing views and peace and quiet, our happy place. The reason Cebu City is popular for expats probably concentration of pretty girls and all the accessible places for adventure, Mualboal, Panglao, Darwin. Yeah, I just said all these stuff. So basically this guy agrees with me. I'm not going to go through the comments. Most people seem to agree. The ones that try to defend some of the stuff is obviously their personal experience. It's very difficult to compare different countries, different cities, because every individual has different requirements, different wants, different desires. If you're somebody that wants to just start dating random girls, if you're somebody that wants to just work from home, if you want only BGC like stuff, so what is the point really of like maybe coming to the Philippines, right? If you want to live the exact same lifestyle. Of course, I'm the same kind of person. I like conveniences. I like the internet. I got to work online. So I understand his perspective, but I'm happy that he didn't really talk down to a lot of these things because it's just simply not fair, right? So you have to ask yourself, why do I want to come to the Philippines? Is it for to find a relationship? Is it for cost of living? Is it for getting away from Western mentality, really? Overall, I thought this was really well written. Leave your comments down below if you've been to any of these cities, if you agree, disagree, anything you want to share, any kind of input you have. I'd love to hear it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.